Mesopotamia and the first cities. The story of civilization truly begins in a land known as Mesopotamia. The name Mesopotamia means the land between two rivers, referring to the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. This region, located in parts of modern-day Iraq, Syria, and Turkey, became the birthplace of the world's first cities and the foundation of organized human society. Mesopotamia's rivers were both a gift and a challenge. Seasonal floods deposited rich soil that was ideal for farming, but the floods were unpredictable and sometimes destructive. To survive, early farmers learned to control water through irrigation. Canals, dikes, and reservoirs were built to manage floods and direct water to fields. This required planning, cooperation, and leadership. As agriculture became more productive, villages grew larger. Over time, these villages transformed into cities. One of the earliest and most important of these cities was Uruk, by around 3500 BCE. Uruk had tens of thousands of inhabitants, making it one of the largest urban centers the world had ever seen. Cities changed human life forever. Unlike small farming villages, cities brought together thousands of people who did not all know each other personally. This required new systems of organization. Leaders emerged to manage labor, distribute food, and maintain order. Governments began to form, often centered around temples and palaces. Religion played a central role in Mesopotamian city life. The people believed that gods controlled nature and human fate. Each city had its own patron god, believed to protect the city and ensure prosperity. Massive temple complexes called ziggurats were built at the center of cities. These towering structures symbolized the connection between heaven and earth. Priests held great power because they were believed to communicate with the gods. They organized rituals, interpreted signs, and advised rulers. Religion was deeply intertwined with politics, economics, and daily life. As cities grew more complex, so did their economies. Farmers produced surplus crops, which were stored and redistributed. Craftspeople specialized in pottery, weaving, metalwork, and construction. Trade expanded beyond local regions, connecting Mesopotamia with distant lands. Goods such as timber, stone, metals, and precious stones were imported in exchange for grain and textiles. Managing this growing economic activity required record-keeping. Around 3200 BCE, the people of Mesopotamia developed one of the world's first writing systems, cuneiform. Initially, writing was used to record trade, taxes, and temple offerings. Symbols were pressed into clay tablets using a reed stylus. Over time, writing became more sophisticated. It was used not only for economic records, but also for stories, prayers, scientific observations, and laws. Writing allowed knowledge to be preserved and passed down across generations, accelerating cultural and technological development. One of the most famous examples of Mesopotamian writing is the Epic of Gilgamesh. This ancient story explores themes of friendship, power, loss, and the search for meaning. It shows that, even in the earliest cities, humans were deeply concerned with questions of life and death. As cities expanded, conflict became more common. Competition over land, water, and trade routes led to warfare between city-states. Armies were organized, weapons improved, and city walls were built for defense. Warfare became a regular feature of political life. To maintain order within cities, laws were created. One of the earliest and most well-known legal codes is the Code of Hammurabi, created around 1750 BCE by the Babylonian king Hammurabi. This code listed hundreds of laws covering trade, property, family life, and crime. It established the idea that laws were written, public, and applied by the state. However, Mesopotamian society was not equal. It was highly hierarchical. At the top were kings and priests, followed by nobles and merchants. Below them were farmers, laborers, and enslaved people. Social status determined rights, responsibilities, and punishments under the law. Life in Mesopotamian cities was demanding. Most people worked long hours in agriculture or manual labor. Homes were made of mud brick, and cities were crowded and noisy. Disease spread easily, and life expectancy was low. Yet cities also offered opportunities for trade, learning, and cultural expression that rural life did not. Mesopotamians made significant advances in science and technology. They developed a number system based on 60, which is why we still measure time in 60 seconds and 60 minutes. They studied astronomy, tracked the movement of stars, and created early calendars. These discoveries helped regulate agriculture and religious rituals. Despite their achievements, Mesopotamian civilizations were fragile. The region lacked natural defenses and essential resources such as wood and metal. This made cities vulnerable to invasion. Over centuries, power shifted between different groups, including the Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians. Each new empire built upon the achievements of those before it, spreading ideas, technologies, and laws across the region. Even when cities fell, their knowledge survived through writing and cultural exchange. Mesopotamia represents a major turning point in human history. Here, humans learned how to live together in large, complex societies. Cities introduced new possibilities, innovation, culture, and progress, but also new problems, including inequality, conflict, and environmental strain. The legacy of Mesopotamia can still be felt today. Writing, laws, urban life, and organized government all trace their roots back to this region. The world's first cities laid the groundwork for all future civilizations, while Mesopotamia flourished between rivers. Another great civilization was rising along a single river, shaped by predictability rather than chaos. In the next part, we journey to ancient Egypt and the life-giving waters of the Nile.